All right, we're rolling into January 19th, 2010, which is a B-Day with Dr. Azar. If you didn't get a chance to go over the Who Made the Mess activity, then why don't you finish doing that? And then if you go to the classroom, there's an article titled The Godfather of CSI, How Forensics Change Crime Solving. It's from the Daily Beast. And it is about, they talk a lot about Edmond Locard in there, and that's who we're kind of talking about. And so I want you to read that. I don't have it printed, so I would just go ahead and get out your contraption and read it from there. And then what you're going to do is Locard's principle of exchange activity. And basically, as we've talked about before with Locard, if you open the sheet, the sub should, or Dr. Azar should have these. Locard's exchange principle states that trace evidence can be exchanged between a crime scene, a victim, and suspect, leaving trace evidence on all three. By the end of this activity, you will be able to demonstrate how transfer of evidence occurs and identify possible crime scene location based on the evidence examination. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into a group. All right, and each group, all right, is going to get a sock. I only have a total of 6 socks. Where are you going to find all that? If you walk over here, it's the same cabinet as the 17th. This says Locard's Trace Evidence Lab right here. We open the cabinet up. We can see there's a box. And there are socks, and this sock is labeled sock 2, and this sock is labeled sock 1, and this sock is labeled sock 3. I have 2 sock 1s, I have 2 sock 2s, and I have 2 sock 3s. Okay, and then I've got some scratch paper right here. All right, so if there's 6 groups, 2 groups will be doing sock 3, and 2 groups will be doing sock 2, and then 2 groups will be doing sock 1. All right, and so what you want to do is after you get your sock, you want to get a dissecting scope. All right, this is the dissecting scope. They're up here. Socks won't fit on these scopes, so you need this big gap or area right here for that. You want to put your sock on the dissecting scope, plug it in, turn the light on, and you want to examine your sock. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. You're looking for trace evidence. That trace evidence is going to be basically carpet fibers. All right. Once you're done looking at your sock and you make some observations about it, which you write here on your sheet. All right, so you write sock number 2 if that's what you have, and then write down a bunch of observations on it. All right, once you've done that, you want to go around and we read this little, a dead body's been found in the gymnasium. Not really, but the crime scene investigators determined that the body had been moved after the killing. Trace evidence was found on the victim's sock. It was determined that the crime scene could have occurred in 3 possible locations. Okay, those 3 locations are different than what is on this sheet here. All right, the first location is the Science Concept Center. All right, so if you go down to the end of the Star Wars hallway, all right, there will be a door where all the science teachers eat lunch. And at the bottom of the door, there should be a bluish colored carpet sticking out. Don't go in the Science Concept Center. Just use the carpet at the base of it. All right, that's location 1. Location 2 is the old attendance office. There should be grayish green carpet squares. All right, that's where you want to go for that one. And then the third location is not the English ASC like it says here, but it's going to be the Business Concept Center. So you're going to have to go talk to Mrs. Glenn. I'm already going to alert her that you guys are going to be in and out of there, and she will unlock that door for you. And that is a dark red, orangish colored carpet. All right. So basically, what are you going to do? You're going to collect carpet fibers, all right, from each one of those locations. What I suggest you do is you bring 3 pieces of scratch paper with you, like so. Okay, oop, there it is, like so. Scrape up some carpet fibers, okay, with a pair of tweezers. Put them in here. Fold this in half so that the fibers stay like that. Then what are you going to do? You're going to bring all 3 of your samples back. You're going to look at the stereoscopes, or you're going to look at the samples under the stereoscopes, and you're going to compare, all right, and try and determine where your sock actually came from. All right, that means, okay, that guess what? I took one of the socks and I went up to one location and I rubbed it all over the floor so it would pick up carpet fibers from that area. So your job as a class is to determine, where did sock 1 come from, where did sock 2 come from, and where did sock 3 come from. Okay, please, once you've examined the socks at the very beginning of the lab, put them back in the bag so you don't cross-contaminate them with fibers from other locations that they weren't at. Tweezers are down here. All right, see where it says tweezers on that cabinet. I'll unlock that. Again, you don't need to rip out a giant chunk of carpet. You just need some fibers. So I would do a scraping motion, try and get up 4 or 5 fibers. and then put them in there, or put them in your scratch paper and then bring them back. So your job at the end is obviously you write down observations about those fibers and then try and identify where each sock came from. All right, and that would be Locard's principle of exchange activity. So by the end of this, you need to make sure you have memorized who Edmond Locard was, what his principle was all about. All right, and then finish this activity. You will be walking around the building. Okay, so please don't act like a bunch of hooligans while you're out there. Treat the building with respect. And go do your work, collect your evidence, and come back, and when you're done, clean up, put the socks back so that the next class can use them. Any questions? Ask the professor.